The Amazing World of Gumball is an incredible show. But sometimes it leaves us with some pretty dark questions in mind. For example, what would lead Anais's doll to have macabre dreams torturing her own owner over and over again? We've investigated the probable reasons why this simple toy is so macabre. Discover all about this sinister mystery now. Daisy and Anais. First off, we need to understand what exists between Gumball's little sister and her favorite doll. If you've ever watched the show, you know for sure that Anais's relationship with Daisy was definitely one of love, as the girl takes the donkey everywhere she goes. But at some point, this peaceful coexistence was disrupted. This raises the question, did Daisy always have macabre thoughts like the ones we see in her dreams? Or was there a key moment that started it all? Within the show's timeline, there's controversy over when Anais and the Daisy she has today met. In an episode of the second season called The World, we see the day Nicole and Richard gave the donkey as a gift to their youngest daughter. So, it seems that was the first time Daisy and Anais met, right? Wrong. And we have evidence. In the episode The Rival, which is from the sixth season, meaning it was released a few years later, we see that when Anais was in her crib, drawing and planning the extermination of her two brothers, guess who was there too? Daisy herself. And this happened long before Anais even learned to walk, meaning it was long before the girl got a plush donkey on her birthday years later. So, the relationship between the two started many years ago, at least with the first Daisy. This is because it's very likely that there are two Daisies. Daisy is a very famous character in the world of Elmore, so much so that she has her own TV show, which is Anais's favorite. Additionally, the donkey is so well known that she even has her own cereal, also Anais's favorite, called Daisy Flakes, which appears countless times in the show. She also has an ice skating show called The Donkey on Ice, kind of like Frozen. The fact is, it's clear that there isn't just one Daisy, but probably thousands of donkey dolls all over the world. And it seems that Anais had at least two of these dolls in her life. The question is, which one appears in the episode The Night having a macabre dream about Anais? The answer isn't straightforward, but we definitely have it. That's the first Daisy Anais without a doubt that appeared in the episode when the girl was still a little baby. But it's not as simple as it seems, because in fact, according to the series timeline, the episode The Night happens after Anais received the second Daisy as a gift from her parents. It's a bit confusing, but the more you hear our theory, the more sense it will make to you. And so, if you're into dark theories involving the amazing world of Gumball, comment down below. #Daisy. When she was a child, Anais got her first Daisy doll at some point, and it was with this doll that she grew up and spent the best moments of her life. The two played together a lot, went through incredible moments, and had a beautiful bond of friendship practically unbreakable. However, on a certain day, we know which one, and we'll show you in a moment, Anais and Daisy ended up separating. In other words, Anais lost her favorite toy and couldn't find it anymore, or maybe she didn't want to find it anymore. And if you've watched Toy Story, you know that abandoned toys can be quite vengeful and cruel when they want to be. And since Anais no longer had her favorite toy, her parents gave her a new Daisy. After all, there are thousands of them. Gumball's sister loved her gift. After all, she loves everything related to Daisy, from the children's show to the cereal. The problem is, the old Daisy didn't like that at all, and at some point, she returned to the Wattersons' house, got rid of the second Daisy, and returned to Anais's arms without her noticing. And since then, she sleeps every night beside the girl, plotting revenge against her, which she will definitely want to put into practice one day. After all, she is a sentient doll. But then, the story of Daisy. The truth is, the first Daisy didn't always have murderous desires towards Anais. Quite the contrary, she truly loved the girl from the depths of her plush heart. After all, they were always together, and Anais even slept with the doll by her side. But that's exactly what ended up giving rise to all these dark moments involving the donkey. At some point, or perhaps from the very beginning, Daisy had a life of her own, just like in Toy Story. And her feelings for Anais were so intense that one day, when the two were playing at the park, little Watterson declared that the donkey was her best friend forever. The problem is, the pink bunny didn't expect that this time the doll would move her head in a scary way and respond that the girl was also her best friend forever. However, contrary to what Daisy expected, that left Anais completely panicked, and she threw Daisy into the air, kicked the doll, and ran away, abandoning her for good. The impression the girl had was that the doll was possessed by an evil spirit, or something like that, and she never went back to retrieve her, leaving her definitively abandoned in the park. But at some point, after waiting for many days, the first Daisy realized that Anais would never come back for her. So the donkey decided it was time to stop pretending to be just a lifeless toy and somehow found her way back to the Wattersons' house, probably making her way back during Elmore's night. And it was at that moment that she must have seen through the window Anais with another Daisy in her arms, the second one her parents had given her in that interval. That's when she put an end to the toy Daisy had and returned to her rightful place, patiently waiting for the day she could get revenge on her former best friend. But, after all, why does Daisy want revenge? In addition to the obvious fact of holding a grudge for being abandoned by her then favorite person in the world, the donkey's anger also comes from the fact that on several occasions, while in the possession of Gumball and Darwin's little sister, she went through situations she would never have experienced if she were someone else's toy. And worst of all, Daisy believed there was no problem with going through any of that, since the two were the best friends in the world. So, the doll felt extremely betrayed by Anais because she couldn't believe how it was possible that even after she expressed her feelings for the girl, she was able to kick her best friend and leave her abandoned in a lonely and scary park. Now, let's explain some of these moments of suffering of Daisy the donkey. But if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time to click the subscribe button and join our team! Returning to talk about the sinister moments involving the donkey, one of them was when Gumball saw Tobias throwing the plush doll off the moving bus, and the blue cat did nothing to stop or retrieve the doll. At least, not until Anais demanded that her brother retrieve the doll, which was in Tina's possession, after passing through Hector's buttocks. On top of all that, in another episode, Gumball and Darwin eat so much Daisy Flake cereal that the sugar makes them completely hallucinate, to the point where they accidentally tear apart the first Daisy. And to complete the list of Daisy's resentments against Anais, we see that she was used by her own owner to serve only as a simple hiding place to store the remote control that was fought over by the whole family in the episode The Remote. Seriously, the pink bunny just stuffed the object into Daisy's cotton entrails, and when it had achieved its goal and could watch her show in peace, with all the other family members locked out of the house, she simply left the donkey on the living room table, completely open, and sat comfortably to watch Daisy's show on TV. And we can see that each of these moments, in a way, is deeply stored in the first Daisy's memory and is present in her dream of making Anais pay for all of this. As it becomes clear when the donkey imagines the plush version of Gumball's sister being dragged by a moving car, just like what happened when the doll herself fell off the school bus. Or when she and an unknown doll pull Anais's doll until it tears in half, much like Gumball and Darwin ended up doing with the donkey. Or when she tries to feed the plush version of Anais, just like the pink bunny herself used to do during their playtime. And all of this, in the doll's twisted mind, is about abuses that were committed against her throughout her existence as a plush toy. So, she believes that if she had never been Gumball's sister's doll, none of the family members would have caused her so much pain and suffering. Therefore, in the end, all the blame for this is on Anais herself. After all, the brothers are hers, and Gumball's classmates were the ones responsible for throwing her off the bus and ending up in a junkyard. But as incredible as it may seem, Daisy wasn't angry about any of this. At least, not until she was literally kicked and abandoned by the person she had the most feelings for in the world. For this reason, today the first Daisy is a completely evil being. And, in an upcoming season of Gumball, it's certain that her episode explaining this return we've explained here will be shown to us. Poor Anais, she has no idea what her cute plush doll is preparing for her in the very near future. And that's really scary. We've selected 2 very cool videos that are right up your alley. You can choose one of the 2 and click now. Thanks, and until next time.